Hello everyone, welcome to Recursive Gaming and another video for Awaken Chaos Era. I've been having a lot of fun with this game. I wanted to show you some of the progress that I've made, and let's talk about the heroes, let's talk about the events, some of the stuff I've been doing, and we're going to do some summons. So I'm going to start off with the summons and then we'll go into everything else. Get everyone's favorite thing out of the way first thing. Alright, let's get started. Alright, as promised, here is everyone's favorite thing, the summons. We'll do the free one, get it out of the way. And I got Rodira. Okay. And we're going to do some tin pulls. We got, I think, 3 tin pulls that we can do today. Let's see if I get some legendaries, guys. Alright. And no legendary. We could still get a light dark 4-star though, so let's hope for the best. Borden, I did not have him, he's new. Also did not have her, she's new. And that's it. Alright, let's take a look at Borden.
Watch your back!
Alright. Ultimate ability cooldown reset. And immediate bonus turn once the enemy's health falls below 50%. And can only be triggered 1 time up to 2 times per battle. Okay. Random stats down for 2 turns can be attack, defense, speed, or crit rate. 50% chance. Nice. Grants stealth to this character for 2 turns after damaging all enemies down to a 3-turn cooldown. Cannot be targeted and effect is removed when attacked by an AoE ability, for instance. Okay. Or if he's previously poisoned, probably. Or burned or bleeding. Single target damage to an enemy. Damage scales with the amount of health lost by the enemy. Okay, I'm familiar with that. This ability ignores the target's invincible, death immunity, and guard effects. Wow. Okay. That's useful. Especially in certain raids, I think. Okay. Down to a 4-turn cooldown. That's not bad at all. Good unit to have. Let's take a look at Asrina.
Fire will set the world
Looks like a mage. Fire mage. Counter attacks with 50% damage plus ignite for 2 turns and cooldown of 3 rounds down to 2-turn cooldown and an 80% chance to ignite. That's pretty solid. But, you know, in order for it to trigger, it requires her to be attacked. So, more than likely, I'll be using her in PvE and raids, possibly. Alright, so Fireball ignites for 2 turns at a 30% chance, up to 50% chance. That's not bad at all. Okay. Landing lots of ignites on the enemy. This attack deals 20% bonus damage per stacked ignite on the target. Okay, so if she's got, let's say, 3 or 4 ignites on the target, that's up to 80% extra damage. Now, that sounds nice, but so far these are both single target ignites, and this does damage to all enemies at only 80% on a 2-turn cooldown. So it's not terrible, but it's not great. As far as that extra, right, the extra damage per stacked ignite, that's only going to be really useful on single target because so far 2 of her abilities are only stacking single target. That's what I mean. Alright, so launches 4 strikes to a single target again. Yes. Okay. With a 50% chance to duplicate ignite on the target to a random enemy. Does this mean duplicate all ignite stacks? So 50% chance to take 4 or 5 ignite stacks that are stacked on the enemy and apply it to a different one. Okay, I mean, once a battle's been going long enough, this might happen, but most battles aren't going to last long enough for this to, you know, transfer a massive stack of ignites. And if the battle's been going on that long, why isn't it dead yet? So, alright, but this is nice. Each strike has a 50% chance to apply ignite. Now, this doesn't go up, but still, 50% chance for 4 strikes. Potentially, if you're really lucky, you can get 4 stacks of ignite on the target. On a 4-turn cooldown. This is disappointing because it hits all enemies and it has a low damage modifier because of that. It's going to increase in damage based on ignite on the target, meaning when she hits a single target with it, it'll still chunk for a decent amount of health. That being said, she's a one-trick pony. All she does is stack ignites on the target. That's literally all she does. She stacks ignites and then uses this to deal slightly more damage. She's okay, I guess. Alright, let's do another one. Yes, please. Super excited about that. And another new one. And another new one. And another new one. Look at this summon, guys. Wow, what a summon. That was awesome. Okay, here's my
Nobody
legendary.
stands between me and the safety of my kingdom.
Yes. Who did I get? At the start of the turn, grants a shield worth 5% of max health to all team members. Up to 10% of this character's max health to all team members. Okay. Yeah, that's solid every turn. That is super solid. Very nice. Okay. Deals 40% damage to an enemy with an 80% chance to apply taunt. Okay. Up to 100%. So it gets basically a 100% chance to taunt. When an ally is attacked, it's a passive. When an ally is attacked, there's a 50% chance to counterattack. Okay. Up plus 30, up plus 20, so 100% chance to counterattack. So every time an ally is attacked, he counterattacks. The counterattack deals 40% damage and a 50% chance up to 80% chance to apply attack down for one turn. So if an ally is attacked, he counterattacks for 40% damage and lands attack down. Every single time an ally is attacked. Now, it only lasts for one turn. But because they just used their turn, it's going to apply on the next turn that they have. So basically, their next attack is going to have attack down. Guaranteed. This guy is solid. This guy's really, really good so far. Okay. Removes 2 negative effects from all team members and applies defense up and attack up to the target for 2 turns. Now, it would be better if this said to all targets, but this might just be a typo. I'm getting the impression that because the first part of this is area of effect on all team members, this is also area of effect on all team members. I'll have to test. But this has potential to be area of effect for everybody on this buff part instead of just the main target. So, removes 2 negative effects from all team members on a cooldown of 4 turns after you fully boost it up. And it boosts attack and defense by 50%. This guy's like the ultimate tanky support. Lands attack down, counterattacks every enemy. If you build him with a stun set, if that's a thing in this game, like in Summoners War there was a stun set of gear, so I'm guessing that there might also be a stun set of gear in this as well. Then every time he counterattacks, he stuns and applies attack down. Now he's not multi-hitting, right? And multi-hits usually have a better chance to land stun, but that being said, plus this, oh my goodness, he is the ultimate support. He might actually replace the guy I'm using for support right now. That being said, this is an ultimate with a long cooldown that I have not upgraded yet, so he might not be a better replacement for my current buffer that I'm using because of the long cooldown. But once I get him buffed up, then yeah, I think I'll use him for sure. That's awesome. Really good unit, plus he's fire, so he's going to be useful in the starting raid boss that you get gear from, so good element for that. Fire team. Malik. Plus 5% crit rate at the start of the turn, and max 10 stacks. Okay, so after 10 turns, this maxes out at 50% crit rate. At 10 turns, this maxes out at 100% crit rate. So basically, potentially 100% crit rate on this guy. Just because of his passive, not because of gear. So you can build him full crit damage and do massive damage, theoretically. Alright, so deal 6% damage to an enemy with a 50% chance to grant this character attack up for one turn. Okay. Critical strikes grant 1 bonus turn. Can only be triggered 1 time per 3 turns. Okay, and then down to 1 time per 2 turns. So every 2 turns, he gets an extra turn. This guy's going to be acting a lot. He's going to be critting a lot and doing a lot of damage. Okay. Now what's his ultimate do? Single target, unfortunately, and it's only 70% damage. Wow, that's terrible, actually. 70% single target damage to an enemy and applies ignite for 2 turns. Wow. That's terrible. All that setup. His crit bonus, his attack up, this with the extra turns, and he only does 70% damage on his ultimate? Come on. That's disappointing. That needs to be buffed. So this guy has lots of potential, but he definitely needs to be buffed on his ultimate. That's just a really disappointing. His single... Actually, it will do more. Okay. 30% on top of steady is 100%. So they both... Basically, his ultimate will do the same amount of damage as his skill 1. That's disappointing. Anyways, so I was really excited about his kit, but then, come to find out it's not that great. Magnar, or at least his ultimate was bad. But when using this ability, there's a 30% chance to use it twice. All right. When health is below 50%, the chance increases to 70%. Okay. If this ability fails to trigger, then its ability cooldown is reduced by 1 turn. Alright, I don't see a cooldown anywhere listed, but evidently it has one. Okay. Deals 40% damage to an enemy and applies defense down for only 1 turn. If the enemy is already affected by defense down, applies defense down 2. Okay. Awesome. So... again, in a team where there's somebody who already has a defense down in their kit and they land the defense down for 2 turns on the enemy, he goes and then improves it to defense down 2. And I'm guessing that would apply. It would basically change the defense down buff from 1 to 2, and it would get a free turn at defense down 2, basically, is what I'm saying. Because if it upgrades and it's already at 2 turns on the enemy, then it just upgrades for free and you get 2 turns of that. But never mind, come down here. Okay, effect duration plus 1 turn. So as soon as you upgrade this, it becomes viable. That's huge. This guy is insanely useful. Not only is he fire, so useful as in a fire team against the first raid boss. Defense down 2? Oh my goodness, that's massive. That's really helpful. Okay, grants attack up and a shield with strength equal to 100% of his attack for 2 turns. Grants a bonus turn if already affected by attack up. On a 4-turn cooldown. That's a long cooldown, unfortunately. But still, that's nice. Okay. Ultimate deals 120% damage to a single enemy with a 50% chance to apply stun. That's not going to affect the boss. So if I use him in my fire team against the boss, then this ultimate stun ability is going to be useless. If it's already affected by stun, it grants 100% bonus attack and a bonus attack. Okay, this has really strong potential. This guy seems like he would absolutely destroy in PvP. If you stun an enemy and then he goes, he's going to be hitting for 100% extra damage and get a bonus attack. Yeah, this guy has potential in PvP for sure. Big time. And against certain enemies. Okay, so he might be useful against enemies that are not immune to stun. That's a strong kit. Defense down 2. Very nice. Also, another copy of Connor. Thank you very much. I can now start ascending my Connor. Plus a legendary? I'll take it, man. Super happy. Okay. Let's see if I can get another legendary. Last try. Here we go. Nope. No luck. And... at least it's a new unit, I guess. Let's see. I used up all my luck on the previous summon. Orok. When attacking, there's a 30% chance to combo, and deals 30% damage to all enemies. Crit rate increases to 100%. Ooh. Okay, I mean, it's only 30% damage to all enemies, but the crit rate increases to 100%. That's nice. Very good. Up to 50% down here. Okay. That has potential for sure. Yeah. Also, I wonder if that's a flat 30% that is not boosted by 30% from combo boosting abilities from other allies, because I think I've seen a unit that boosts the entire team's combo chance. And if that's true, I wonder if that increases his passive's usefulness. Okay. Deals 80% damage to an enemy with a 30% chance to apply defense down for 1 turn, and that does not increase down here. So he's a fire unit, but immediately he's not as useful as the 2-headed ogre. But chance to trigger it goes up to 100% upon a critical strike. Okay. Deals 120% damage to a single enemy, and recovers health equal to 30%, up to 50% of the damage done. That's alright. Means he'll self-heal, so you don't need as much healing to keep him alive. Okay, so his ultimate removes all positive effects from a target, a buff strip, nice, and then deals 100%. Okay, so he removes all positive effects and then the damage lands. Specifically stated that way, so that's useful. So you could use him in PvP against an immunity team, for instance. If you are going against Theomars, for instance, people like to use Theomars and in Summoner's War, and if Theomars gets his immunity, then you have to wait a turn to kill him, but this would kill him because it removes positive effects and then deals the damage. So situations like that. So if you're running a team, for instance, Summoner's War reference Chloe, right? If you've got a Chloe buffs the entire team with immunity or damage immunity, then this would remove all positive effects, basically strip them, and then deal the damage. So, and oh my god, this is the first time I've seen this. I've seen from the target's lost health, but this is the first time I've seen a person with dealing damage according to the target's max health. So this is a boss killer. This guy is an absolute boss killer. This ability will do so much damage against bosses. And it's on a 4-turn cooldown. And it goes up to 200% damage. That's huge. Okay, so this guy is going to be useful as a boss killer. My fire team's coming together, guys. Definitely going to be able to build a fire team to go against that first raid boss. What a good summoning session, right? Super lucky. Let's go ahead and get our benefits here. Weekly quests, blah, blah, blah. Achievements. Wow, okay. A lot of achievements for getting legendaries and epics. And thank you, game. You're so generous. Thank you so much. Okay, very nice. Yeah, I'm not going to bother to go through all that. That takes forever. I'll do that later. Alright, so let me catch you guys up on the progress that I've been making on this account. Here we go. Alright, let's take a look. So this is the gear I've got on him. He's at level 40. I have not improved his glyphs very much. Haven't done very much glyph farming. Still making progress in the game. But he is useful. This ability does trigger a lot more often than I expected it to. He is basically getting a free turn every turn. Plus, sometimes more often based on a new unit that I started using in the team that I'll show in a second. I went over his abilities last time. But basically, 120% damage to an enemy that scales with the enemy's lost health. That's not as high as some of the others that we've seen. On the other guy, we saw 160% up to 200 after you skill it up. This cooldown is also really long, at down to 7-turn cooldown, right? And then this is AoE, only 80%, but it removes positive effects. This 60% and increases damage taken, which is a buff you don't see very often. But it increases damage taken, and that stacks. Think of it as there's a equivalent in Summoner's War. I can't remember what it's called. But basically increases damage taken and stacks with defense down and all stuff like that. So he has a nice buff, a buff strip and that. But his scaling is a little on the low side, surprisingly. Only 80% there, and then 120% single target there. So plus really long cooldown. So there are reasons to think that he's not the best unit. That being said, he is light element, so he doesn't have the same problems as other heroes with element disadvantage. Okay, so because he doesn't have element disadvantage, he's useful for me everywhere in the game. So that's part of the reason I really like him. I haven't had to build a water team and a fire team and a wood team and and all these different teams to take on these bosses that I've been fighting because he's useful everywhere. So that's nice. Also, this gets triggered quite a bit, and so he gets a lot of extra turns, which, because it's an extra turn and not just his basic, he's reducing his own cooldowns quite consistently. So the long cooldowns don't seem like they last quite as long as you would expect. That being said, he's been very useful for me, and I'm enjoying him quite a bit. Mathesia, excellent support unit. This ability, her revive, is a lot more helpful than I expected. In my mind, revive teams basically just means you shouldn't be clearing that content anyways. Like, if you're losing lots of units and your revive is constantly bringing you back, then you're probably just fighting something that's too difficult for you. You should level up, gear up, come back. That being said, it's been really nice having that revive because, and this is something I haven't really had to deal with too much in games recently because I haven't played Summoner's War in a long time. So this is bringing me back to things from Summoner's War that is kind of unique to this game and Summoner's War, and that is element disadvantage, right? So let's say I've got my DPS unit that I'm taking, her, and she's at a disadvantage from another unit. They're going to target her and take her out in one turn, right? If I'm going against high-level enemies and she's not fully geared up, which she's not, I mean, her weapon's enhanced but nothing else, then as I'm clearing content, I've gone up against bosses that one-shot her, okay? Or enemies that all-focused her because she was at element disadvantage. Long story short, she's still in the fight because Mythesia just instantly reses her. Okay, so the res is handy for countering element disadvantage teams where your team member just gets obliterated in a single turn. Because then Mythesia brings him back. So in that situation, it isn't about being undergeared or underleveled. It's about taking a hero to an element disadvantage fight where basically Mythesia allows me to keep a unit and use a unit everywhere because she reses that unit, as opposed to having to build 6, different heroes and having a bunch of different elements and having a hero for every situation. So Mythesia is really good with her revive for allowing me to progress through content and not have to build a bunch of different element teams. So that's what she's really good for. I decided to use Kayn. I do like Kayn because of his passive. Let's take a look. This passive is basically 15 up to 20% of reduced damage for the entire team, except him, of course. But still, that's like Darien. Think of it as like a Darien from Summoner's War. Basically reduces all the damage the friendlies take. So he's useful, especially in raid bosses. So far he's been pretty useful there. Reduces all the damage taken. And you've seen a lot of the other units, but this is the main one I talk about.
Anything better than friends at war?
Actually, let me show her first. Marion.
I was trained for this day.
I've enjoyed using Marion quite a bit. She's stayed with me. She's level 40, 4-star, because of this lifesteal. As I've started going into more difficult content, that 15% lifesteal is not keeping the team alive, and I've had to use Mythesia a lot more. That being said, she's a really nice unit, and I like her, but I figured out how good Natalia is, okay? When I first summoned Natalia, I did not know how good she was. She's actually excellent. And so what she does, she buffs herself with attack up and immune, and then does this ability, 100% 20% damage, which is normally single target. She does it to the entire enemy team, okay? So she does AoE because of her passive when she has buffs, and then she does this to the entire enemy team. If she gets a kill, which she usually does on the weaker characters, maybe not the stronger ones, but on the weaker ones she'll get a kill, and it just instantly resets, okay? So she basically gets 120% team damage every single time she goes if she's strong enough to get a kill. And with her attack buff, and if you defense down the enemy, so she's just very consistent enemy team damage. She's doing really well. So I've been using her in order to benefit from this combo, right, where she buffs herself and then does AoE damage. I needed a buffer.
You'll do what I
so
tell
this was
you.
my most reliable buffer I had at the time, but as you've seen, I just summoned a much better one. But this guy, he enhances his own speed. This gives speed up to the ally with the highest attack, which is my Talia. So my Talia basically gets speed up every time this guy goes. And I've got him going first. So let's say we're on wave 2, and he already used his buff, this buff here. He instead uses this and gives her a buff anyways. So she gets her passive every wave. And she gets that initial combo enemy team damage every wave. So if you give her a buffer, right, and he goes before her, every monster wave she'll be able to get off her combo. So that's what's been working for me so far. It's being very effective. Now, this is only 30% attack up. It's not attack up 2, and it's not crit. So this doesn't really benefit her, aside from just triggering that passive that she has, because she just overrides this with another 30% attack. It's not like it stacks and makes it an attack 2, which would be awesome. No, so this attack up on her is kind of useless. That being said, he's doing the job of setting up her damage very well. So that's why I started using him. And that's the team I've been running. Had to create a couple more units for doing some raid bosses and whatnot. And then just haven't been using Marion as much. But I still like her. And I do think that when this progresses to 25%, it'll be much more useful. So I do see myself using her in a fire team where I might not even need a healer. And they're all just attackers. They keep themselves alive by attacking. And she gives them all 25% lifesteal. And so I do see her being useful. Just I haven't been using her as much because I needed a buffer for Talia. So that's the progress I made on the account. If that's all you guys wanted to see, that's cool. Otherwise, I wanted to do something just to show you the team in action. Let's do the bounties today. These are some boss battles. I can show you some boss battles against bounties. And then I'll do the endless dungeon for you. So this is my team. If I wasn't interested in a healer, I could take out Mathesia and pop in either the lifesteal girl or Kane for the damage reduction on the whole team. Stuff like that. So,
The Book of Runes
anyways,
preserves me.
as far as I can tell, there's no, whatchamacallit, team buffs, right? So in Summoner's War and in a lot of other games, you have heroes that have leader abilities, and when you put them in the front slot, they give the whole team a buff. And I haven't seen that in this game, so it looks like leader skills may not be a thing, which is in a way kind of refreshing. Now, it was nice that certain heroes were viable because they had great leader skills, so it kind of just, I don't know, it feels like they're missing something, right? Because they don't have a leader skill, so it feels like you're missing out on free stats. But alright, it's alright, it works. It works. We're going to do this one. Instead of now, Gaia's removal gives them all a heal over time buff. This helps to trigger Talia's passive. Because if the first person to go, because she's not the fastest person, if the first person to go uses Gaia's renewal, it will then trigger her passive. So that's why I keep this here, not just for the healing, but also because it helps out Talia. The defense down helps out Talia more than I think the flat fire damage. So we're going to go with defense down. It can be resisted by the enemy, which is a bummer, and when that happens, it makes me miss the fire damage, but anyways, let's do this. Alright, we're going to put it on faster and auto, so you can just see what it looks like. Alright, so I've got 2 resists on the defense down. Alright, looks like they were pretty fast. Alright, so we've got the full range of buffs going. Here's this guy with his buff. Decent damage. And then finally Talia gets a chance here in just a second. She goes last. She used her buff, so she gave herself immunity. And there we go, boom. Talia just wipes the floor with him, man. She is really useful. And as you saw, the only thing upgraded on her was her weapon. That's it. So she's pretty strong. And if you can do the combo, then I think she's a pretty effective unit.
Nature will never forsake you.
That being said, I'm sure there's better units than Talia. Or Natalia, can't remember. I'm sure there's better units.
Against you.
Oh, landed on the whole team. So we're going to do some decent damage. This should be a single turn, then we're done. Ooh, that's a tech down. That's not good.
So easy. Do you believe in magic?
Ooh, okay, so even with their deflect, because I guess she's the wrong element to go against wood. Or nature, whatever you want to call it. Nice, there's her immunity coming in. He was not able to land another debuff. And as you saw, that she gets to use her ultimate again because she killed all the little guys, and so it reset. And there's her skill 1. So, yeah. Let's get us some nice bonuses, some free stuff. And then I'll be able to continue progressing in the game, doing quests and stuff. We've got 3 more.
This is going to be so much fun.
And actually, the endless dungeon does take a while, so I think I'll show the first couple, and then we'll end the video. Rather than making you guys wait through the entire, all 3 floors of the endless dungeon, because that would be a long video. It takes a while to get through the endless dungeon. So I'll just show you guys the first couple of fights in the endless dungeon and talk about the endless dungeon and why I like it so much. I think it's an excellent game mode. It's really enjoyable because of all the buffs and stuff that you can get. You can kind of superpower your team. Here we go. Without the attack down. On fire, which she's good against, and that element she just wipes before with him. But I really like the endless dungeon because you can really superpower your team and make them super buff. By the time you get to the 3rd floor and you're using all of these nice artifacts to boost your damage and get free resets and extra turns and all these amazing buffs, it's just like your team just absolutely destroys. It's just really fun to see your team do all that damage. So I really do enjoy the endless dungeon. It's a lot of fun. So we've got 2 more. Something about this game, I'm sure you guys have noticed, it gives a lot of free rewards. Like, you get rewarded for literally everything you do in the game. It never feels like I'm doing something and there's no reason for it, or there's no point, and I'm wasting my time. It never feels like that. And so many games that I've played, so many gacha games, you feel like you do the boring stuff to get to the exciting stuff. And you feel like you do the stuff where there's not good rewards to open up the stuff that has good rewards, right? So it takes effort to get to the stuff that has rewards, and you're kind of like dreading the time you're spending doing the pointless stuff. You're like, oh, I just want to get to the better stuff. It never feels like that in this game. In this game, you get rewarded for literally everything you do. It feels amazing. It feels fantastic. This game is really awesome to play. It's a really good new player experience. If you have not played gacha games before and you're not jaded like the rest of us, or kind of just, I don't know, it's another of, you know, the same type. You've played this before, you've seen it before. If you're not like that, if you're trying to get into a gacha game and you're interested, I fully recommend this game. This game has an amazing... Goodness, stop talking. He's very talkative. But if you're looking for a gacha game, if you're new to a gacha game, I could not recommend this game enough. The new player experience and just all the rewards that you get and all the different game modes and how different and unique and exciting everything is. This game has it all, man. It has every mode. It has all the events. It's just got so many things to do and keep track of, and you're just like, well, what do I do now? And it never feels like, oh, I gotta go do that. No, it literally everything keeps your attention. And I could be playing this game all day, every day, and progressing super fast, but I'm also trying to make progress in other games like Seven Nights 2 and make videos for that. So that's the only reason I haven't progressed farther. Because like I'm forcing myself to take a break. Otherwise, this game literally has everything, and I could spend so much time in this game. But yeah, that's my little blurb while I'm waiting for this battle to finish about what I really like about this game. It's just, it rewards you for everything, and everything feels unique and fun. So it has a lot going for it. I think this is going to be a massive game. Alright, so I got a kill, so it resets, so she'll get her ultimate again on the next turn. But it looks like he's going to go before her, so he's going to lose his defense down and increased damage taken debuffs. So opportunity lost there for her damage. Could have been more. But that's alright, she got the kill anyways. So, very nice. So as you can see, Mythicia's not really doing a whole lot of work there. She's not really buffing the team or even needing to heal. She does a heal, but it doesn't really heal anybody. It's not like anybody needs it. So I could have replaced Mythicia in there for something else. Endless Trial. Here we go. We're going to do level 30. We finished level 20 yesterday. Let's see if it's more difficult. Start on floor 1, the Magma Core. Now, I've been using the same team throughout the whole thing, have not been swapping out heroes. At the higher difficulties, because of the stuff that they do, the area effects, this right here. Um, After you use a hero for 5 battles, they start suffering from some debuff. Okay, in this one, it's going to reduce the max health and crit resistance. Doesn't seem that bad, but on floor 3, it's pretty severe. But I've been using the same heroes the whole way through all 3 floors. I imagine as I get to the harder floors, that won't be possible, but we will see. So when taking damage, I can counterattack. Most of the time, I don't even get attacked. I just end up wiping the floor with everything because I've got a good AoE team. Grants 10% attack for every health lost, and any spell cast restores health. Out of all of these, probably the counterattack is the best one. Anything that helps me finish faster. So if I go here and recruit, I don't really need any of these heroes because I'm level 40 4-star, so it doesn't really do me any good to use any of these. It doesn't do me any good to recruit them because I wouldn't use them. So I'd rather get these trial tokens to use and buy stuff. And also here to use and buy stuff. So, yeah. I always do the battles. I don't do the recruits or any of the events. I always do the battles because that gives me all the coins and everything else that I want. So I'm not going to need to heal, I don't think.
The Book of Runes preserves me.
So we're just going to go full damage, I believe. So this guy lands Helmar, lands bleeds on the enemy, and then combusts those bleeds, but nothing lives long enough. The lifesteal might be useful, but that's all she's really got going for us, and it's only 15%. This guy, however, reduces all damage team members take, and he does a buff strip, and he does a defense down for 2 turns. So I think I'll take him.
Do not treat me like a beast.
For spells, I'm going with defense down, and actually, fire damage. I'm going to try and kill stuff as fast as possible, and just progress through this, because this can end up taking a while. These battles can end up lasting quite a while. It takes you forever to get through the 3 floors, so I recommend taking in a full attack team in here, if you can, buffing them up, and then just killing everything before it has a chance to kill you.
I will have no mercy against you.
So, defense down, fire skill, right, and then just destroy everything.
So easy. Do you believe in magic?
And as you get towards the 3rd floor and you start going against enemies that, you know, there's multiple waves to enemies, I have noticed in this endless dungeon, the buffs carry over. So if you're buffed on wave 1, then you're also buffed on wave 2. So that's really, really nice. That means your DPS units don't lose their damage buffs and stuff. Alright, I'll take the crit damage. Like I said, you want to kill stuff as fast as possible and progress. So always do the fights. I'm going to skip formation this time, because I don't want to change my heroes. So, yeah, do the fights, because then you can use the currency to buy stuff afterwards. The other stuff mostly just gets you stuff to use in here to make you stronger in Endless Dungeon. Whereas when you do the battles, you get stuff and currency that's usable outside of the dungeon. So, I think you're just better off doing the battles.
So easy. Do you believe in magic?
Okay. Oh, another thing. When you're re-rolling and you're looking for the perfect PvE hero to carry your team because it has good AoE damage, that's really good advice. 50% attack. I'll take the crit rate. Okay. I mean, that was a really good thing to get, but I'll take the crit rate. So, unfortunately, I think this falls off when I attack this guy, so I have to take the box. Otherwise, if I could, I would go around and then fight these guys. So, yeah, always try to follow the path that's going to lead you to more battles. You're going to get more rewards that way. Also, you get artifacts to increase your characters and make them stronger whenever you fight these battles. So that's another reason to do these, because, you know, you get an artifact after every battle. So when I was talking about re-rolling and picking the perfect PvE carry, obviously Talia or Natalia, can't remember her name, is not the perfect carry. But as you can see, I found a way to make her work. Okay, so she does the job. Oh, this is cool. First time I've seen this. You just tickle.
You don't stand a chance against...
Alright, defense down. Okay. Boss lady. She's tough.
Do you believe in magic?
She's got her ultimate again. She's fully buffed and the enemy has defense down. How come it didn't even hit her? That was weird. It hit her pet. Oh, that must be her passive. So whenever she's going to suffer damage that would kill her, it kills the pet instead. That's nice. She seems like a really nice unit. Okay, so if I could finish my previous thought. When you're re-rolling and looking for the perfect PvE carry that does AoE damage on every hit, can't remember her name, but she's water type. She's really good. Looks like a dragon girl. Really cool looking. Really good carry for doing AoE damage. This is nice, resetting all cooldowns. When an enemy is killed, all allies gain 30% attack and speed. That's also good, but I'll take the crit rate and crit damage. Alright, so random event. Nothing happens, or plus 30% defense for the next 3 battles? Why not? Why would I take nothing over 30% defense? Okay, so if I go here, it doesn't really matter. Either way, I'm going to get to go to this guy, but I'm going to go here just in case. Okay. So if you're looking for the perfect reroll, okay, and you're looking for the perfect PvE carry, based on what you've seen in this episode, this is only, my 3rd day playing the game, and I have not been playing it 100% of the time. If if this is the only game you play, and you make good progress, by your 2nd day, you're going to have enough resources to do enough summons to get a good unit. Not to mention, look, Talia's not a legendary, and look how well she's carrying my team. So, you guys can find units that are going to carry your team and do AoE damage, right? Totally possible. You don't need to get the perfect PvE carry to make your game easier, although that's nice and it does help. It's just not 100% necessary for game progression. As you can see, it's possible to make it work. So, that's what I'm trying to tell you. You don't need to find the perfect hero for progression that does AoE damage. There's a lot of epics out there, okay? And even just green heroes. It scared me. I thought we were going to have to reset the game. Anyways, yeah, don't be obsessed with finding the perfect reroll carry hero. If you get lucky with a good roll and you like the hero, you can, make up later. If you get the perfect support hero and that's what you want, then don't worry about having a damage carry. You'll be able to find one, okay? So don't worry about it too much. This game has a lot of heroes and a lot of them are viable. So this looks really good. I'll think, because this is single target, whereas this looks like it might have a chance to apply to AoE attacks as well, which would make half the time my AoE attacks do even more damage, by a lot, actually. Okay, let's see if we can get that to trigger on this one. And then if we get to see it, then that'll be cool, and I think we'll call it quits and call this the end of the video. I hope you guys have enjoyed seeing the summons. I hope you've enjoyed... see my progression.
No mercy against you.
So obviously he's not healing the Kane, so I'll end up switching him out for probably Mathesia, probably in the next battle or two when he's getting that low.
Do you believe in magic?
But I hope you guys. Oh, I didn't see it. I didn't see the extra trigger.
My master is out.
There it was. I believe I saw the extra there. And there it is again. Okay. Well, that was cool. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I hope you liked the progress and the different characters that I'm using and seeing how I made an epic character that normally wouldn't be fantastic, viable for my team, and help me with progression. Great summons today, right guys? Weren't those summons awesome? And in case you're curious what I'm going to pick here, let's just go ahead and pick it. Defense? Yeah, 20%. Since we're on floor 1, it's going to have plenty of time to stack up, so I'll get the full benefit from that. Anyways, thank you all for watching. I will see you in the next one.